Welcome back to my channel. So today I'll be showing you guys how to make facing for bodice with a sleeve. The previous one I made was a sleeveless bodice facing. So, and also I'm going to be showing you guys if you're going to be using a um buttonhole for the back of the bodice or the facing, how you're going to finish it up, or if you're just going to finish up the neckline, because you know some tops or some dresses often have a neckline like this, but I'm just going to be showing you how you can do it in case you're putting in a button, or if this is just the neckline. So for this here, this is the front piece. This is not a someone's size, this is just a piece of cloth that I cut to show you guys. So this here, how you're going to do it is you fold the fabric and then you get another. So guys, as you can see, this is what I'm going to be using for the facing. If you have a bigger fabric, even better, but this, remember, this is just a sample that I'm trying to show you make this with. So the next thing I'm going to do is to put this way, right? Fold the fabric. Is just basically this facing is as if you're cutting a second piece of this of whatever bodice you're using. It's almost as if you're cutting a second piece of that same bodice. So you see, I folded this way, placed it this way down to the end, like matching up to the end of where this fabric is folded, right? So the next thing you're going to do is just to draw out your neckline. And what you're going to do next is to mark on normal bodice. You can go like 3 inches or 2.3 inches or 2.5. So for me, I'm going to be going 2.5 here to show you guys, and then down here I'm going to be marking it at 3 inches here, right? I'm going to be marking it at 3 inches here. So I'm going to make my shoulder slant so that I don't miss that out here. I'm going to mark my shoulder slant, and then from here I'm just going to mark the neckline coming down to connect to this mark that I made here. So you see, this is the front neckline. So I'm just going to trace this one out here. So this is what will be the neckline for the front. You see, if I place it now, this is what it would look like. You see how far it comes down? In a bigger person, or in a normal bodice, an adult normal bodice, you might just make it maybe 4 inches by 3 inches, right? You might come 3 inches this way by the neck, and then you can come down 4 inches this way. So after that, the next thing I'm going to do is to show you guys the back. So this one here is supposed to be the back bodice here, and the same thing that I did is what I'm going to do here. So you just take your fabric, put it in here. So the fabric I'm using is also folded into 2. So just like I'm cutting a normal bodice, right, I'm going to do the same thing again. Make sure you get to the end, you place it to align with the end, and then you mark your neckline, mark round here, and then so mark, and then mark down here. So after that, you also mark to know where the neckline stops here, right? This opening here, you want to know where it stops. So mine stops here. I'm going to give it this mark here so that I'll know that this is where it stops. So remember, you're trying to make a facing for this. So what you're going to do is from the point where this neckline stops, like this slit that you have here, where it stops, you might add like 4 inches or extra 5 inches. It depends on you. So for me, I'm going to just use the whole end of this, which is like 4.5. So I'm going to use the whole end here. So what I'm going to do is mark the neckline 3 inches or 2.5, right? You mark it here, and then from here you're going to try to connect it down to meet this line here. So you see, I've marked mine to meet. Just try to connect it and give it some space. If you want, you can just go 3 inches from the neckline, and be sure to mark it this way, and just give yourself enough room so that when you flip it, it still has some room to it. So now I'm just going to cut this out here. So guys, after that, I also slit it open from the neckline, right, to meet up to the the slit that it has on this one here, you see. So this is going to be my facing for the back. So what I'm going to do now is to go to the sewing machine. This is the pattern for this. So I'm going to just go and then attach the shoulder to the shoulder on this, and then on my facing I'm also going to attach the shoulder to the shoulder on this. So I'm going to do that and come back. So shoulder to shoulder, shoulder to shoulder. So guys, as you can see, I've gone ahead and attached mine. So the next thing I'm going to do is to put this here right side facing each other. So this is the right, this is the right. So I'm going to place it same on this here. And then you try to, if you're still starting, you can hold it down with pins so you don't make a mistake. Try to hold it down all the way around to this part here and just try to pin it down. And then the next thing you're going to do is to take your, if it's just for a normal neckline in front without a buttonhole, right? This is not for, if you're not adding a button to it and this is the front neckline, what you're going to do is just to sew it down. Like you're going to start from here and just sew all the way down. You're just going to start and just sew your neckline like you would normally do. Go down here, go down this way, and then you also go down this way. You just go down this way again, and then like you connect from here. Like you're starting from this point here. Let's say you start from this point here, right, this end here, and then you go down, make one stitch, come back up again this way, and then you just keep going all the way from here. Now you just go all the way around. You just keep going all the way around, and then you get back to where you started, like here. So you're going to get back to this point here. But for this here, this is not what I'm doing here. What I'm doing is I'm going to put this in, right? Because remember, we are trying to put in like a button loop for this. So I'm going to pass my button from the back. So from the back, I'm going to, this is my button loop. I've already made it. And don't mind the thread I'm using black thread so that it's visible. I don't want to use green. So you just take the loop that you made, and then you're going to pass it through from. So guys, this is how you're going to pass this through here. So you're going to pass it from the inside, right, from here. So you're just going to put in your button, the button loop, you put it in this way, right? So that when you make the stitch that we just talked about, and come back up again, and then when you flip this in, you see what you're left with. You're left with the end of your button loop here. You see, you have the button loop out, and then this will be tucked in on the inside. So I'm just going to make my stitch, and then I'll show you guys. And after making your stitch, one thing that you have to do is to also try to notch the ends, right? Notch all the ends and trim out all the excess or from after making the stitch that I just made the mark for. You trim it out, and then after that you can tuck it back in. So guys, as you can see, I've gone ahead and flipped mine in. So it was this way before, and then I brought it out this way, tucked it in. So you see now, I changed the button loop because it was too bulky using this fabric. So I just changed it to something else that is also visible. So this is what my button loop looks like. If this is a dress that doesn't need a button loop, let's say this is your front pattern. You know, some necklines come this way, right? So you just don't have to, all you have to do is skip the part of putting this button loop. But if you needed to put this, just put it in and then put your button on this side, right? And then you could close it up. So let me flip it to the right side. So this is what it looks like, the neckline here. So it still needs a little bit of ironing, but this is what it would look like when you're done. And also remember, some people normally, when they are done, they make a stitch on top, like they make a stitch all the way on top here, and then just make a stitch very close to the end, just round. If you don't want to do that, because sometimes I don't like to do that, what you can also do is to just take this this pattern, the facing, and then the extra seam that you have at the end here, just try try your best to stay very close to this, and then just stitch on it, right? Just stitch it down to this seam, like this seam here. Stitch from the front, just place it this way on your sewing machine, and then just make sure to move the stitch to this side and sew it down. It helps this, you see how I sewed mine down, right? And this is the stitch on top. The stitch doesn't come out to the front. You could see the stitch here. It just stays on the facing. It doesn't come out to the front. So it helps this here, it helps this facing stay tucked in, so it doesn't come out like when you're wearing the clothes. It helps this facing, let me just show you. It helps this facing not to keep on coming up this way, right? So it just helps it stay in. So that is basically it for the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, share and subscribe. Bye.